Indigenous fam, I have another good one. This one has scientific genetic evidence proving that we are indigenous to the Americas. Go ahead and use this video to shut up those Pan-Africanists. Let's examine the DNA of those who are living in modern-day Egypt, which they call ancient Egypt. I mean, the Museum of Cairo is there after all, which explores the history of the ancient Kemetic people. It has mummies in it, there's Afro pics, there's all sorts of things in that museum. Yes, I've been there to visit. Take a look at these folks. Now, take a look at this right here. It clearly states that this is their DNA. R1b, G2a, and mtDNA, haplogroups H and K. You all have heard of Ramses, is that correct? The guy from the Bible? Yes, him. Well, let's take a look at what his DNA is. Pharaoh Ramses' DNA is E1B1A M2. Who else in the world has that same DNA? Oh, is it the so-called African Americans that has the same DNA as Pharaoh Ramses? Oh my goodness. Didn't they brainwash us to believe that modern day Africa is the motherland? So then why are all the people with the ancient Kemetic DNA in America if modern day Africa is the motherland? Somebody help me. Help a sister out. Someone, please explain to me why the majority of so-called African Americans in America has the E1B1A. People in Africa with the same DNA as the so-called African Americans are the Bemileke, the Ewe, the Ga, the Yoruba, and you see the list right here of all the different people with the E1B1A. Those with the E1B1B haplogroup would be those in the Horn of Africa, in Ethiopia, Somalia, Egypt, and all those, which proves that not all people in Africa are African. We're not all the same people, all so-called black people. Bear in mind, we are the original people of the earth. We were everywhere, all over the earth. People who look like us and similar. And last time I checked, A comes before B. E1B1A is the oldest DNA. Let's not forget our brothers and sisters in the Caribbean, y'all. E1B1A shows up all throughout the entire Caribbean, but mostly in Haiti, Haiti, South Pacific, and Jamaica. Yes. Dominican Republic, St. Andrews, but again, it's all over the Caribbean as well, but mostly in Jamaica and Haiti. We're all the same people, y'all. We are the same people. We come from royalty, okay? Royalty, not slaves. So why don't those people in Giza have the DNA of Pharaoh? I mean, isn't that ancient Egypt over there in Giza? Isn't that what they taught us in history? That it's over on the continent of modern day Africa? So I need someone to explain to me why the so-called African Americans are the ones with the Egyptian Kemetic DNA, why all of the artifacts, the cities, the pyramids and everything were found right here in America and in the Americas. All of the artifacts, the Garden of Eden found right here in America. After all, the pyramids in modern day Africa, Giza, were actually modeled after the pyramids in America. Yes. Why? If modern day Africa is the motherland, why was everything found in America? Please help me understand that. And last but not least, why are the majority of people with Pharaoh Ramses' DNA in America? Why aren't they over in modern day Africa? Why are they in America? Greetings, fam, and welcome to part 2 of how the hell did we end up in modern day Africa, and also how we were conquered as a people. Modern day Africa is the home of the Africans who carry the E1B1B DNA haplogroup. I am not only going to prove to you that not all so-called black people are the exact same people, we are different people, and also to prove to you that the slave trade was total reverse and we were dumped in modern day Africa. Out the gate, it clearly states that the haplogroup E1B1B belongs to the Africans, Also people in the Middle East, so-called Middle East, which is really still Africa, and people in Europe as well. What does this say? It is not a major haplogroup in the Americas. Read it again. E1B1B, which is the African DNA, is not a major haplogroup in the Americas. I can finish the video right here, but I'm going to go further. Let's take a look at this map where it basically shows the concentration of the E1B1A and E1B1B haplogroups and where these people reside in modern day Africa. In the map at the top, you can clearly see that E1B1B is mostly concentrated like in heavy numbers, in large numbers, in the Horn of Africa, and also in East Africa as well. However, the E1B1B haplogroup is actually spread out throughout the entire continent of Africa. E1B1A, which is the DNA from the Americas, is actually concentrated and scattered all throughout Africa. You see these two arrows? Which countries is it pointing to? What are they trying to tell us? Basically, they're trying to tell us that the greatest concentration of people with the E1B1A haplogroup reside in about like 2 to 3 of the countries in modern day Africa. I'm about to show you those countries right now. But first, I would like to show you how a lot of the countries in West Africa, there's a mixture of E1B1A and E1B1B. Nigeria is first on the list. As you can clearly see, it states here that there's a large dominant number of E1B1A people in Nigeria. However, they're sprinkled around, and it's showing you, it's breaking it down by their different groups. The Igbos, the Hausa, the Yoruba, and the Fulanis is showing you that Igbos, they have the most E1B1A haplogroup. Again, that's the same DNA of those of us in the Americas. The Hausa, it shows you theirs. There's like a couple of people that are Hausa that are in there. The Yorubas, I don't see any of our DNA in them. And then the Fulanis, it shows you their haplogroup type as well. So let's take a look at those in Ghana. As you can clearly see, there is a sprinkling of both E1B1A and E1B1B. So there are Hamites and Shemites in Ghana. Also, we have the DRC. There is a super large concentration of people in the DRC with E1B1A, but there are also people with E1B1B. It says also haplogroup A, and a couple of other different DNA types that are sprinkled around in there as well. And last but not least, we have Guinea-Bissau. And there is a large concentration, just like in DRC, of people that have the E1B1A haplogroup type. And there are other ones as well that are mixed in there. So which countries have the largest amount of E1B1A DNA? That would be Sierra Leone, Angola, Guinea-Bissau, and also Liberia, which takes the #1 spot. Why is that? Let's talk about it. As I've stated before in many videos, we were taken from the Americas and dumped in Africa, literally. I'll show you why. The reason why people in Liberia, Angola, Sierra Leone, and DRC have such a large concentration of people with E1B1A haplogroup is because there was a society called the American Colonization Society. And in order to deal with their Negro problem in America, they decided that they were going to ship us over to modern day Africa to get rid of us. And that's exactly what they did. Throughout the years, they've done many things to get rid of their Negro problem, such as the Planned Parenthood places, you know, to yank us out of to terminate our pregnancies. Thank you, Marcus Hanker. Basically, after slavery ended, there were just so many of us in the Americas, and they didn't want to be around us. They didn't want to deal with us. They didn't want to see us. And so in order to get rid of us, we were shipped over to modern day Africa. I mean, is this flag not a dead giveaway? I mean, this is pretty much the American flag. Yes. So basically the Liberians, Sierra Leoneans, and, you know, all the other ones that have super large concentrations of E1B1A DNA haplogroup, those are our people. They're from America. Why do you say they're from America? Well, clearly, E1B1A haplogroup is actually the home to North and South America. As you can clearly see, the DNA is from the top of America all the way down to the bottom of South America, E1B1A. And then we also have the A and the L scattered throughout. That's also the DNA of Pharaoh Ramsey, so-called African Americans. This is our DNA. This is the home of us over here. And as I showed you on the other map, it's scattered throughout Africa. It's in pockets here and pockets there. But over in America, it's fully from the top all the way down to the bottom. So what does that tell you? It should tell you that we actually came from America. We came from the Americas. Because in another video, I showed you how the Haitians and Jamaicans have the largest percentage of E1B1A in all the people in the Caribbean and South America. I found this article to be quite interesting. Why? Because, you know, their version of history is that we were brought from modern day Africa over and dumped into America, which it didn't happen though. It was the complete opposite. So they're telling us, well, so-called Black Americans, you know, if you want to find your relatives, why don't you go to Angola? You're looking in what does it say? In Ghana and other parts of West Africa, but you forgot all about Angola. Does that make sense to y'all? Why would we look over there? Shouldn't we be looking in America? You see, they're telling on themselves. They're basically letting you know, hey, look, we dumped them in Angola too. Why don't you come over and take a look in Angola? Because, yeah, we dumped them over there too, not just in Ghana and Nigeria. Hello. Read between the lines. And so here is the article basically saying that a lot of them were brought into the slave market of Monsango village, and they were sold into bondage there. It was called a point of no return, just like the other castles. And yeah, large numbers of our people are in Angola as well. And from there was a Bantu expansion, and people spread out from there. And then there's also people in East Africa as well that have the E1B1A haplogroup. Who might those people be? None other than the Kikuyu in Kenya. They're the ones that are said to have the Ark of the Covenant. Okay? So they're scattered all throughout Africa. But as you can clearly see, as I showed you, they're from the top of America all the way down to the bottom. That should tell you that this is where y'all came from. Y'all came from America and you were dumped in modern day Africa. Like, share, follow, comment, and follow me on YouTube. Brutally Honest History Lover.
So when they stole our identity, mispronounced it as Choctaw, they would come back into Lacombe, see our ways of living, and then they would mimic this back in Oklahoma. We have to ask, as historians, who signed the Dancing Rabbit Treaty and some of the other treaties? Research their name and see if the people that's in Oklahoma, I'm finna get real controversy. Let's see if there's really Native Americans that your tax money is paying for today, no matter what color you are. I said, if the government want to really know who's been ripping them off, check out and see who's inside that pudding. Because what's in the pudding sure ain't chocolate. It's all vanilla.
Get 'em, holy the visual. This moment is pivotal, clear like a digital. Phonies can't copy originals. We the first on the earth in the physical. You still in our image is criminal. All your hatred is known and is visible. We breaking the mold of traditional. You Negroes are mythical, more like a biblical miracle. Bringing the fire to Smith.
The black people out here is not from Africa.
They're not from Africa. No
They
black
from-
people is from Africa.
They from out here, right?
You guys are literally from out here. Africans don't even want to be playing with you guys. Like, that's just the difference. Africans is totally separate.
Oh, hold on. Where you from?
I'm from Liberia.
From Liberia. And you trying to tell these people that I'm trying to tell them that they're not African.
They're not.
And they are already. I don't know why they don't want to hear.
There was black people already here, bro.
Already here, but they want to say.
And it wasn't even Native American, bro. It was just start.
Right. They want to say that I think they love slave boats, bro.
They're migrated.
They love the slave boat. That's what it is. But tell them again, black people.
Black people is not from Africa.
Say it louder.
But black people is not from Africa.
Black people is not from Africa.
Yeah, and anybody who said they're from Africa, bro, that's some dumb shit. Africans don't even fuck with people from here, bro. So,
Period.
Africans can tell you fucking African.
Period.
Let's look at the census that's coming out. First, my people were under Indian. Then someone come along and say, well, we're going to take them, we're going to move them again. We're going to make them mulatto. So some of my people got trapped back there under Indian while some moved into the mulatto era. Then when the white man seen that that wasn't going to eliminate enough of us, then he moved us from mulatto. Then he moved us to colored. I can show you how I got where I'm at. So then my people, some of them got left into the colored zone. Then they moved my people again into Negro, black, and African American. All I'm asking, my blood kin, I'm not asking you to change who you are. I'm looking for a Pacific people that's lost here in New Orleans that have the same blood lineage that the two of us have, that got lost through the census. Like this time the census, last census we were Native American. This census we are going to be American Indian. You with what I'm saying? In each era we lose people.
Okay, I'm going to explain this because some of y'all seem confused. See this lady in the blue? That is an American Indian. This lady in the red? That is a Native American, an immigrant from Siberia. Once again, lady in the brown? That is an American Indian. Lady over here with the feather? That is a Native American, Siberian immigrant. This is an American Indian with the headband. This over here in the red is a Native American, an immigrant from Siberia. Once again, lady in the brown, an American Indian, the indigenous people of America. Lady in the black jacket, Native American, immigrant from Siberia. These are two different people, two different cultures. Don't confuse them.